The US men's national team just defeated Canada for the CONCACAF Nations League Final 2-0, and we are now, once again, the CONCACAF Nations League champions. By once again, I mean the second time, because there's only been 2 editions and the United States has won both. In 2021, defeating Mexico, and now in 2023, defeating Canada. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Filippo, and welcome to Tactical Manager TV, and welcome to the 7 Things We Learned series, a channel favorite, one of the favorites, where every single day following a US men's national team match, we tell you 7 things we learned. Now, obviously, there's more than 7, and you can comment down below what did you learn, along with dropping a like, because it's free, and free is good. But enough of me talking. Let's go to lesson number 1. Lesson number 1 is that we are the Kings of CONCACAF. You see, I have a crown to prove that. Have you ever seen a Canadian or a Mexican on YouTube with an actual crown? But listen, jokes aside, if there was ever any doubt, now the United States has proof that we are the top dogs of CONCACAF. Again, if there was any doubt. We won the past 2 Nations League, the 2 that existed in 2021 and 2023. We are the current Gold Cup champions. We were the national team from CONCACAF that went the furthest in the World Cup. We were also the CONCACAF team that went the furthest in the U20 World Cup. We are in the Olympics, unlike Mexico and Canada. We're the Kings of CONCACAF. And I would like to piggyback from lesson number 1 to lesson number 2. And lesson number 2 is, understand, sometimes your team can be the best in the region, but you still might not have the most talent. It's not the case for the US men's national team. We have the most talent in CONCACAF, and it's not even close. And I understand CONCACAF is one of the weakest regions in the world. We're worse than CONMEBOL, we're worse than UEFA, we're worse than the African Confederation, and I think we're also worse than the Asian one. But in CONCACAF, we have the most talent, and it's not even close. Look, let's just go back to 2021, where we won the Gold Cup with our B team. We won the Nations League with our A team. Now look at this edition. We just beat Mexico 3-0. Completely dominating L3. We beat Canada 2-0, which in my personal opinion was a very dominant performance. And we didn't even have a coach with any professional experience as a head coach. Along with that, in the final more specifically, we were missing Tim Ream, Tyler Adams, Weston McKennie, Serginho Dest, Cameron Carter-Vickers, and Miles Robinson. Out of those 6 players, you know, they are all starters or the first to come off the bench, along with some other players that we didn't have there, but those are the most notable names. So Canada may have the best player in CONCACAF, which is Alphonso Davies, but we most certainly have the most talent and depth. And let's be honest, as I said, it's not even close. Now, before we go to lesson number 3, a quick word from everyone's favorite sponsor, BetOnline, because thanks to BetOnline, I am upgrading the white wall. Unless you want me to bring the white wall back. I kind of miss it. From here forward, a lot of the lessons are going to be things we learned, and I hope Greg Berhalter builds upon it. I don't trust Greg. I honestly think that he sucks, but he will be our coach, and I guess all I can do is hope he improves. Even though there has been no indication of that, I want to remain hopeful. I want to believe he will improve. We have a big World Cup coming up in 2026, and since we're going with Greg, I kind of need him to improve. So let's go to lesson number 3, which we've been screaming this for years, at least 2 years, I believe. Yeah, 1 to 2 years. Gio Reyna has to start, and Gio Reyna has to play central. That's what has to be done. Gio Reyna playing centrally. We saw what he can do. That assist to Balogun was brilliant. That goal was 80% Gio Reyna. He has to start. And the right winger is Tim Weah. You can't bench Weah to start Gio. You start Gio centrally, and you saw what he can do. Greg Berhalter has to make up with Gio. They have to get along, kiss a little bit if you have to, give each other a hug. You don't need to love each other, but respect each other. And again, stop trying to play Gio on the wing. Don't put Gio on the bench. He has to start. We're going to talk about this later in one of the last lessons of this video. But again, that's lesson number 3. Let's go to lesson number 4. Lesson number 4 is Greg Berhalter's system sucked. Abandon it. The way we're playing right now is not quite the same way Greg did. Let's talk about it. So just to repeat, Lesson number 4 is abandon your system, Berhalter. Along with Gio playing central, which that never happened with Greg, he never wanted any creativity through the middle, and the MMA midfield, as good as it was, it lacked creativity. Another thing I noticed with these teams with Hudson and BJ Callahan, they didn't really have their fullbacks high up the field for the most part. When they had the fullbacks sitting deep, the national team played a lot better. Against Canada in the second half, for some reason, our fullbacks were pushing high up the field, and I thought we performed worse. The first half, they played deep, and we were great. Against Mexico, the same. Also, when we don't have our fullbacks pushing high up the field, we don't get those crazy A-Rob crosses and, just Berhalter ball, crossing, soccer terrorism. Along with that, without Greg Berhalter's system, we kind of looked much faster in transition because, his so-called system kept slowing us down with excessive amount of instructions. What I'm trying to say to Greg right here is learn, change, adapt. This is the way, not what we had to watch for 4 years under his so beloved system that he never wanted to change. Oh, and Greg, if you're watching this, which you're probably not, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. That was lesson number 4, pretty much. KISS. Let's go to lesson number 5. Lesson number 5 is we have 2 backups for Tyler Adams right now, and none of them are named Kellyn Acosta. One of them is Yunus Musa, which we'll talk about in a second, and the other one is the 4-2-3-1 formation. When Tyler's not available, you either go on a 4-3-3 with Yunus Musa starting as a 6, or you switch to a double pivot 4-2-3-1. And understand this, Yunus Musa was not perfect as a 6. There were issues on the ball. Defensively, I thought he looked good. He won most of his duels. I just think he held the ball for too long at times, and as a 6, you have to be a bit more cautious with it, because if you lose it, the defense can be exposed. But Yunus Musa never plays the 6 for Valencia or for the national team. So this experience, in my opinion, was a success, and we should continue to test him there and get him accustomed to the position because he's one of the backup for Tyler. Now, if Yunus Musa can't play for whatever reason or he's not playing well, the other option is a 4-2-3-1 formation. We don't need Kellyn Acosta anymore. That's what I'm trying to say. The 2 backup to Tyler are Musa and a change in formation. Lesson number 6, I'll be super quick. Matt Turner, in terms of shot stopping, he's still up there. He's fantastic. He's brilliant. He got 2 clean sheets. He's amazing. With his feet, he's still shaky. He wasn't good in distribution. I thought he was improving with Arsenal with it, but I didn't see it in this camp. So maybe it would be better if Turner just got a transfer and went somewhere that he would play. I thought he was going to improve his feet with Arsenal, but what I saw in this camp, it wasn't that good. In terms of shot stopping, as I said, and I know I'm being repetitive here, he continues to be brilliant. Now let's go to lesson number 7. And before I even start lesson number 7, don't forget to drop a like right now, subscribe if you want to, and of course, drop a comment with what did you learn from United States 2, Canada 0. Along with the fact that we learned that Canadians are very rude until they lose. Once they lose, they're not rude, they're not nice, they just disappear. Lesson number 7 is the US men's national team right now has 3 players that are actual difference makers. You see, in the World Cup, Christian Pulisic was truly our only difference maker, of course, because Greg Berhalter chose to not play Gio Reyna, but I'm not going to dive into that right now. He was the only difference maker, and we saw that in the matches during the World Cup. But again, Pulisic had to lead the way with many good players around him. But now I see 3 difference makers in this roster, and that is Balogun, Gio Reyna, and Pulisic. So if one is having a day off, the other one has to step up, and that's what happened against Canada. Or we can go back against Mexico. Gio Reyna didn't have the best of games against Mexico. Not a bad one, but not a good one. Who stepped up? Christian Pulisic. Now this game against Canada, Pulisic had a day off. Pulisic wasn't that good. Balogun and Gio Reyna stepped up. And that is crucial because the US men's national team has many good players, right? McKennie's good, Adams is good, Aronson, Dest, Richards was brilliant, the man of the match for this game, and many others. But you need difference makers if you want to make a deep run in the World Cup. If you want to do something special, you need many of them, not just one. Pulisic had to do too much in the World Cup. Now, Pulisic has help. Gio Reyna and Balogun have arrived. Hopefully another player emerges, but as of now, having 3 players at that caliber is absolutely fantastic. And let me know if you agree with me. Do you think anyone else is a legit difference maker? To me, those 3 are the ones that can actually create goals on their own. Those are the only 3 in this player pool. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Celebrate. Be happy. We are the Kings of CONCACAF. We have won it once again, and we'll continue to do so. But it's not over. The summer ain't over. We still have the Gold Cup, and we'll be covering it here entirely at the channel with previews, 7 things we learned, live watch-alongs, post-games, whatever we can. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.